Hello everyone. Thanks for taking some time out and joining us for today's webinar. My name is Shilpi and I'm from the digital marketing team at Minjar Cloud Solutions. Today, we are presenting our next webinar on Art of Reservation and Cost Optimization on AWS, hosted by Minjar Cloud Solutions. We understand that scaling business on cloud for high performance and savings is an endless task. But as we say, savings come in small kernels. Cloud automation and cost optimization best practices will help businesses upsurge profitability on AWS Cloud. Simply by reserving the right EC2 instances, utilizing the unused resources, and eliminating the wasteful spending, you can master the art of cost optimization on AWS and visibly trim off fat from your cloud bill. This technical session is around cost optimization and RI planning on AWS. The webinar is presented to you by our solution architect, Yuvaraj, who has been helping businesses optimize their business on cloud and better secure their cloud infrastructure with Botmetric, the virtual cloud engineer. To get more info about Botmetric, you may visit our website at www.botmetric.com or you can get in touch with us on social media. So let's move ahead and get started with the session. But before we start, I'd like to request you all to please cooperate and be on mute during the presentation. If you have any questions at any point of time during the presentation, you can type them up into the question box in your GoToWebinar control panel. I will bring them up post the presentation and we will also have some time for questions at the end. So now let's move ahead and I'll turn the time over to Yuvaraj.
Hello everyone, this is Yuvaraj, and initially I will talk about what Minjar is and what is Botmetric and what we does. So if you see the slide here, so we are a AWS premier partner and we do AWS architecture, managed cloud, DevOps and cloud ops. Apart from that, we have a product. Botmetric is a product which is built by Minjar, and we do using Botmetric we do a lot of stuff including the AWS cost optimization and security compliance, DR compliance, and a lot of best practices on the AWS cloud. So let's go ahead. Yeah, so let's get to the point. So how can we save cost on AWS? So there are mainly 4 types. I mean, there are 4 ways we can save money on AWS. The first is like reserved instances. That is like you get into a commitment with AWS where you are saying that, so I will be, running this kind of workload at least for 1 year. So that, can you give me a little discount on top of it? I will be running for one machine for a 3 year. So can I get more discount on it because I'm getting into commitment for 3 years. So the other part is like in cloud it's very agile, so that's why people are moving to cloud. The other drawback of that I would say is like the side effect I would say is it is very easy to create resources, so the unused resources will get get unnoticed, and every month you will be charged for those unused resources also. So it's our responsibility to remove those resources also. And the other part is the capacity planning. So when you come to cloud, we not only cloud, anywhere we go, even if we run our application in data center, we need to do a capacity planning. Sometimes you may have some past resource utilization data, if it but in the case of if it is a new app, or if you don't have the resource utilization data, then you don't know what to start, where to start. So normally you will be go with some optimistic sizes of the machines, RAMs and hard disk. Then people will start those kind of machines, which is like sometimes most of the time what we have seen is people always start machines like 50% more than what they need, because if it is a new app. So people will run as it is, as long as it is running fine, people don't have to scale it down unless otherwise it is putting a big hole in our pocket. So the optimization we need to do so that we pay for only what we use, so or what we need, only for what we need, not for what we use. So that is the other axis of saving cost on AWS. And the other one better thing, and this is just born out of cloud, it won't happen in any of your data center application side, is like power cycle your non-work critical workload. That is like you may have dev, QA or staging environment. Those are all like used by only during the office hours, and it won't be get used on Saturday, Sundays, or during the night hours. So the flexibility of the cloud, it's like AWS only charges you per hour basis. So let's say that every day morning, let's say 7 o'clock, I start up, spin up all my dev and QA machines, and night 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. I will shut down all my machines. So 10 to 7, you save somewhere around 9 hours per day. That is per machine. So per machine into number of machines into the number of days, you get 22 days. And apart from that, Saturday, Sundays, you can save a lot of time over there. So that is like 70% you can save on this kind of non-critical workload. This was only possible in AWS. We have seen many of the customers don't do this. We recommended, and many of them saved a lot using this. So I'll be directly jumping into the reserve instance overview. I'll be talking about what is reserve instances and how we can master it. So yeah, so let's start about reserve instances. So the reservations or reserved instances, these are like discount coupons, as I said previously. So it is like, you get into a commitment with AWS saying that, I'm going to run this machine, or I'm going to run this kind of workload in my machine, in my account for at least 1 year. The minimum is 1 year, and the maximum is 3 year. So if you select the 1 year minimum, then you get a lesser discount. If you go with the 3 year, then you get more discount. But at the same time, it's a commitment. Let's say today people will come to cloud for agility, and so we can't go and reserve each and every machine which we run, because tomorrow what if I'm getting more customers and the load is getting increased. I want to change my machine size. Those kind of cases will crop in, then it's a problem to us. So it should be, we should be well informed when we are reserving an instance. So the thing is, one important point we need to keep in mind is that reservations are not specific to any machine or any instance you run in your account. It is like a specific set of characters, or those specific set of things. Using that, you say that, okay, I need a discount coupon, and these are all the parameters of my reservation. So when I talk about in the next slide, I will dive deep into those lines. So what makes up a reservation? So you can see on the screen, these are all the things which makes up a reservation. So if you see here, there is no instance ID mentioned here, because instance ID don't play any role here. So it is all about reservation. It's all about getting a coupon with these parameters. So I'll take the first example. If you see the instance family, size, platform, location, and VPC, these are all the parameters which is needed actually to reserve an instance. Have a reservation, so that this get applied when you run a machine of the same specification. Then your coupons will get applied to that machine. So that is the whole part about reservation. So we have the other two more columns, RA term and RA type. So that is like 1 year all upfront, and 3 year 1 year, like that. So the RA term is, you have only two options. It is like 1 year or 3 year. And RA type, you have three options here. One is like no upfront, partial upfront, and all upfront. So what is all upfront? All upfront means, let's say you have selected a reservation and you have decided that, okay, the term is 1 year. So 1 year all upfront means, basically let's say the first example, it's a T2 medium Linux. So this costs somewhere around $40 per month in a US East 1A region. So if you go with all upfront, then what we'll do is, so let's say if it is a 1 year, then 12 into 40 is like $360. You up ahead, when you say all upfront, then that month you will get a bill of $360, and for the next 12 months you will get that instance. If you run the exact specific instance matching T2 medium and Linux US East 1A, and if it is in VPC, then that machine will run for without any charges in the coming next 12 months, because you went with all upfront. That means like you gave all the money upfront for running that machine. So partial upfront is like you pay some amount of money during the starting time, I mean when you do a reservation, and every month, let's for example, let's say that 50% is the partial upfront. Then what will happen is, like every day $20, the first time when you make a reservation, at that time 360 divided by 2, that is like 180. So $180 will be charged, and the next month onwards you would see like every month you will see a $20 per month. Yeah, so you will be charged $20 per month in this case, because let's say that we are talking about only one machine. Let's say I have hundreds of machines, then the amount is going to be or hundred thousands or 300,000 or 1 million, just if we go all upfront with 100 machines. So there are not a lot of business which can't afford that kind of amount during the start. But if you go with all upfront, you will get the discount is very high. You can see in this slide, if you go with all upfront, you will save somewhere around 40%. So of your total cost running for this thing. So then if you are going with partial upfront, you get 38%, and if you go with no upfront, that is 28.6%. So no upfront means it's like you're saying that I am not going to pay anything upfront, but you're getting into a commitment saying that whether I run the machine or not for the next 12 months, you can charge me this much every month. So that is the no upfront. So whether that is like if you run it, then fine, you will get a 28.60% of savings. Along with that, so that is the amount of savings you get, and after that every month you will be charged, but upfront you won't be paying anything. So this is like if you are, I mean if the money is a problem upfront, a big amount, then we can go with no upfront or partial upfront. So the one thing we need to keep in mind is that if you buy a reservation, if you see here, the 5 parameters we always need to keep in mind. So that means if it is a T2 medium, Linux, US East 1A and VPC. See, these 5 parameters makes up a single reservation. So let's say I'm running exact matching machine for the next month, because I found out that I'm running T2 medium, Linux, US East 1A in VPC, and I went ahead and reserved. And the next month, what happened is that for some reason the developer need to recycle the machine. So when he started the machine, instead of running it in US East 1A, he started the machine in US East 1B. Then what will happen to my reservation? So that we will talk about in the next slide. Before that, I just want to talk about the concepts of pair account and linked account. So Amazon has this concept like pair account and linked account, just to consolidate all this. Initially it was not there, then AWS came up with this concept of pair account. The reason is that inside a company, multiple departments started using multiple accounts. For some reason, there are a lot of reasons are there, like why people use multiple accounts. One is like people use it like QA environment and production environment. They want to separate completely out of these two things. They have 2 different accounts. Some cases it will be bifurcated within a company, like finance department 1 account, and tech team or technology department 1 account. So people started using multiple linked accounts, but every month people started getting separate AWS bill. So that is a problem for them, and they want to consolidate. So that's when they introduced the pair account concept. So pair account is nothing. It is like you just that is the place where you put your credit card details, and you every month all the accounts linked up, whatever accounts linked under the payer account, all the amount are consolidated and given to payer account, and the AWS will charge from the payer account. Whatever credit card you have put up in the payer account, AWS will charge the total amount with your credit card. So the one important thing about this thing is not only about the, it's not about just, single point you get every accounts, spending. Not only that, the other important thing is about reservations also. I mean, whatever reservations you make inside any one of the account or get applied across all the linked accounts and payer accounts. So I will take a small example. If you see in the screen, we have totally 3 accounts. So one is like payer account, which has a 3 RI, and before that I want to talk have a small thing. So let's say for the simplicity, all our machines running across all our accounts are T2 medium, Linux and US East 1A, and all are in VPC. So, and also, let's say whatever RI mentioned in the screen, all are like T2 medium, Linux, US East 1A and VPC. If you see the machines we run, all are T2 medium, and also the reservation we had all also, T2 medium. So now if you see in the payer account, we have 3 RIs and 2 instances running in it. Basically there is one RI, which is not used there because we are totally running only 2 machines in the payer account. And if you see in the linked account, we have 5 RI, but we are running only 3 instances. That means there are 2 RI sitting idle. And there is one linked account. In linked account 2, we have 2 machines running in that, but there is no RI at all. That means it doesn't have any RIs. But the thing is, the important part here is like, these RIs are get consolidated, and even it will get even applied to any one of the account. I mean, let's say that in linked account 1, you have 5 RI and only 3 instances are running in that. That means 2 are not used. The same 2 will be applied to the linked account 2. That's the concept of, the RIs are consolidated across all the accounts under your payer accounts. So now if you see, totally we have 5 plus 3, totally 8 RIs we have. Total instances we have 3 plus 2 plus 2, totally 7 instances we have. If you see totally 8 instances, 8 minus 1, we have minus 7. So I mean 8 minus 7, we have totally minus 1. That means one RI which we which we said that there is one unused RI which is unused. That means it's like no machines are matching it, or we are losing money here actually. We said and we went into a commitment, that is the RI saying that AWS, I'm going to run 8 T2 medium Linux US East 1A in VPC, but I'm running 7. So since I'm not running it, will I be won't charge? No, you will be charged, because you said a commitment saying that, because Amazon gave you a discount because you said you are getting into a commitment. They gave a discount for your commitment, but you are not running. Definitely, still they will be charging for 8 RIs. I mean 8 instances, even if you went with no upfront. So now we found out the problem. So there are 2 cases I can say. Like one is like, sometimes machines are getting launched. I mean, you bought a machine that should be running in US East 1A, but the developer, when they recycled it, or when they started a new deployment, they started it in a different AZ, I mean without noticing it, because so then in that case, if your RI parameters doesn't match your instance parameters, then the instance will be charged without discount, and also your RI will go unused. That means you will be charging, the AWS will be charging you the total amount of that machine which is running, and also whatever money applicable for the RI. So it is like double the cost for you. So we should never, we should always keep a watch on whether all our RI is used or not. So that is one part. The other part is like, okay, so let's say that, okay, I'm a guy, I mean, we started with cloud and we are running some 30 machines, 50 machines or 10 machines, and my bill is this much. How can I reduce my, total spend? So one way is buy RI. So how can I buy the right RI? So that also needs to be, analyzed a lot. before buying the RI. It is like a lot of planning needs to be done before buying an RI. It is like, so how do I know that there is a one machine which is just launched by a developer just for a testing purpose, and and there is one machine, production machine, which is running for last 6 months, and which one should I, if you look at console, then you need to manually go and figure out which machine is running for a long time, then is this a candidate for an RI, all this computation you need to do, and then you need to decide that, okay, so this machine is, we can buy a RI for this. So how can I say by buying the right RI? So this is about, so now we are talking about Botmetric. So we have a page for RI planner where you can go ahead and select based on your budget. It's like, I have a lot of money to invest, then you can go with all upfront. Or if you have no money, I mean you don't want to put too much of money into here, then you can go with no upfront. And also this tool will help you to find out the machines which where you can see that which kind of machines I should reserve so that I will get more amount of savings. So if you see the top recommendations by region in the screen, we are saying that run buy 6 M4.X large machine Linux in US East 1 year will help you to save $5,466. So this is for 1 year RI. So like that, we if you see what your machine distribution also, we say like, so if you see in the pie chart, we say you are running 20% of them are M4.X large and 20% are T2 Nano 1 T2 micro. If you see here, this is the on-demand cost, that is like 18K approximately, and the total RI cost, if you go with partial upfront, then the upfront cost will be 6183, and every month you will be charged some portion of 5070 cost. That is the recurring cost. So the total RI cost will be 11K. So if you see the on-demand cost, it is 18K, and if you go with 1 year partial upfront, and if you reserve all these machines, then you will be spending 11.25K. The potential savings is less 7K. You get a 7K savings here. So like that, I will be showing a small demo of this, and after this, how you can work out on this. And so, and one more important thing I said is, so if your RI is not getting applied, then we are really into a trouble. That means like we are paying double the money. So that's the important thing, and we always need to keep a check whether my RI is getting applied. If you see in the screen, right now we have 69, totally 87 machines are there, running instance count, out of which 69 is running as on demand and 18 is running as a reserved. If you see the reservation count, this account actually bought 36 reservations, out of which only 18 are getting applied to the machines and 18 are going unused. So that is like we are losing a lot of money here. So these are all the real data. That means it's like this happened to one of our customers where they bought, and over the time, like 1 month, or even over the time like 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, or next quarter, people, because today's very dynamic environment, people choose cloud for the dynamicity. So people will change and launch a bigger machine. So if you, let's say you bought a T2 medium reservation, and you you decided that, okay, this machine is not able to handle my load, so I will change the T2 medium to M3 large. If you change it, if you have and you didn't remember that actually you reserved a T2 medium, then what will happen is you will be charged for the M3 medium, and you will be losing money for the T2 medium because you already paid for the T2 medium and it's not used. So these are all things we need to keep in mind. So Botmetrics help you to actively scan and tell you that, okay, so these are the used and unused RIs you have, and we have RI recommendation also. Let's say that I have a lot of RIs unused. How can I make it utilized? So let's say that I have a T2 medium, or let's say I bought a T2 micro machine, and I reserved a one T2 micro, or let's say I bought 4 T2 micros, and now I changed one of the machine to T2 medium. Then Amazon allows you to modify your RI reservations. That is like as long as you are in the same family, you can modify your reservations. So that is like, and also it will allow you to modify your availability zone. Let's say you bought a T2 medium in US East 1A, but you are running your machine in US T2 medium US East 1B. Then if you know it actually this is not getting applied, then you can actually go and modify the reservation, saying that this reservation should be modified to US East 1B. Once you make the changes, your reservation start applied immediately. So but we need to know that actually this is not applied. That means with the RI which I made for T2 dot medium, which is in US East 1A, no more, there is no machine matching that criteria, that we should know it. So that is where the unused RI and the reservation recommendation helps you, and also it will help you to modify your instance family also. Let's say I bought four T2 micros, and unfortunately I can't sustain my new customers or the new load with all the T2 micros. So I'm going to launch one more T2 medium. So now what I will do, so what you can do here is you can merge all the four T2 micros to a single T2 medium, so that the new machine will get the RA applied, and all the four T2 the old, or let's say out of four we converted one T2 micro to T2 medium, so there will be three T2 micro remaining. We can buy RA for that, and still your old RA is getting merged. We can merge that, and also we can apply it to the T2 medium. So that is where we recommend here. If you see here, there is a T2 micro which is in one, and what we are recommending is here is like modify the unused reserve instance. The fourth one is like from US East 1A, 1E to 1D. So we have a machine which is running on T2 micro, US East 1 region only, but it is running in 1D. So if you edit your reservation so that the availability zone is US East 1E, your reservation getting applied. So these kind of recommendations you will get in the Botmetric. The other part I was talking about is that find and remove unused resources. There are a lot of ways resources can be dangling or it's not used. So we have a lot of checks for that. Let's say there is a load balancer which is not attached to any machine. That means it is like unused ELB, which will cost you $20 per month. So that and like that, there are a lot of, let's say there is a volume which is not used or not attached to any of the machines, then you will be losing money over there. So finding out the unused resources, and then we will show you these are all the things which is unused. You can go ahead and take action on it, where you can remove it, or you can make it use it, something like that. And also I was talking about the utilization, that is the capacity planning, where people will over provision the over provision your capacity. Then we will help that also. We analyze your whole machines, what is your utilization rate for the last 14 days, and we will recommend that this machine is actually we have very low CPU utilization. You can decrease the size of the machine on this. And the other part I was talking about is how can I power cycle my non-critical workload so that I can save 75% of the money which I spend on this non-critical workload. So we have automation also, where you can go ahead and say that whatever machines tagged with this key and value, I'll stop at morning night 10 p.m. and start at mornings 8 p.m. So we support cron expressions, so that you get all the flexibility, and you can define like start and stop only on Monday to Friday and completely stop it on Saturday, Sundays. So that's why we support cron parameters. So not only start and stop, you can start and stop EC2 instances, and we are coming up with RDS also to start and stop, so that this kind of workloads we can um, save a lot of cost on that. So I think it's the time to for Q&A. You can ask me any question.